What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of my brand new all women's wrestling show, Evolved. This is a show that is special for Rant with Ant Patreons and Rant with Ant subscribers on YouTube. The way that I will be structuring this show is every Wednesday for the $5 tier on patreon.com/rantwithant. Our Patreons will be getting this show first before everybody else. And then the following Wednesday, it will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel. And if you guys want to subscribe on the YouTube channel, just search Rant with Ant in the search bar and it will bring you right to our YouTube channel. We have some great videos up there, such as the 2018 RWA recap video. Make sure you go check all of that out. It is a great time. Now, why me and why women's wrestling? So right now, in all of professional wrestling, my favorite type of wrestling is women's wrestling. I think it's the best. I think it's cool. I think it's fresh. I think it's new. There are so many possibilities for the women that have been done already and that even haven't been done already. So it is really an exciting time to be a fan of professional wrestling when it comes to women. Now, what I want this show to be is a weekly 5 to 10 minute show roughly where I can talk about topics, and I could, if there's no topics to talk about this, that week, I can also talk about the women's matches that we got going through that week. And that's why I wanted to do this show on Wednesday, so at least I could talk about the women's matches that aired on Raw and SmackDown and potentially the pay-per-views. Because, of course, Who Got Next covers all NXT and NXT UK talk, so I want to make sure I save that stuff for Who Got Next. Now, for this very special first episode, I left it in the hands of the Patreons, and they, of course, voted for my take on the women's tag team titles and how I would book it. What do I see in regards to what I think WWE will do for that? Now, I'm going to bring up the list that I made. So now I made a list kind of really showcasing the team that already exists in the women's division and, teams that I would love to see maybe form the potential going forward. Now, the teams that we have are the Iconics, the Riot Squad, Boston Hug Connection, that's Sasha and Bailey, of course, Fire and Desire, my favorite tag team name in the entire company, male or female, that is Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Team Kick, that is Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox, and then Nia Jax and Tamina. Now, some of the women's tag teams that could be formed, you have Bay Mella, which is, of course, Bailey and Carmella. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, that'd be really fun. Ravishing Glow, which was teased on social media this past week, which is Lana and Naomi. And, of course, MMA's 4 horsewomen, which would be Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke. Now, so before we get into who do I think should win, even though, my shirt kind of gives it away. I think that the way they should book these titles is the title should be a Raw and SmackDown title. It should be on both brands. I don't think that one show should be able to hold it unless all the singles wrestlers all the single women go to one show. All the single women's wrestlers. It makes me sound like I'm talking about Beyonce. Oh, the single women. Sorry, I'm corny. I would have them be on both brands, right? And I know the brand split and all that stuff like that. Shout out to Pav. I know he's banging his head against the wall because he is the master of the brand split. I do, however, think that in establishing these titles, before you eventually, most likely what we all think is going to happen, they're going to create an all-women's wrestling show, WWE-wise. And I think that until you get to that point eventually, it has to be dual branded. It just has to be, right? There's not enough women tag teams. There's way too many women to kind of try to figure out where to put everything. It gets too complicated, whatever. Now, what I would do, because WWE loves tournaments, I love tournaments. Who doesn't love tournaments, right? You got to do a tournament for this. And now I wouldn't do it the way that they've done tag team tournaments in the past, such as the Dusty Classic. I don't want to see 2 single stars kind of thrown into a tag team and be like, hey, how are they going to coexist? Oh my God, Charlotte and Becky, they hated each other last week, but now they're a tag team. What's going to happen? I don't want to see none of that. Not at all. I don't want to see Finn Balor and Samoa Joe win the tournament and then end up having a singles feud after it. I want the first ever team to win this belt to be an actual legitimate tag team. And that's why I think it should be the Iconics, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, Tournament structure wise, I think that the finals should end up being the Riot Squad versus the Iconics, especially if this tournament is done where the Riot Squad are on Raw and the Iconics are on SmackDown. I think there should be individual tournaments on each show. The winner of Raw and the winner of SmackDown face each other in the finals out of WrestleMania, at something else, who knows, right? Probably, I would honestly do it at like a Backlash. I think that it would get overshadowed at Mania, and I'd want it to have like its own spotlight, and Backlash would be a great way to do that. I mean, Evolution would be awesome, but Evolution, if they wait as long as they did this year, it'll be in October. I think that's way too long. You should do these right after Mania, kind of jumpstart this and go crazy with it. I would have Iconic versus the Riot Squad, because I feel like ever since becoming a stable on the main roster, and, you know, I will admit, I did not think it would work, but man, it works so beautifully and so well. They've been a tag team for, you know, over a year at this point, a year and a half. And I think that they would be great to kind of lead Raw into the finals. And I think that the Iconics should obviously be there. They've been a tag team damn near their entire time in the company, let alone on the main roster or in NXT. So I think that's pretty awesome. The way that I would do this is, or the reason why I want the Iconics to win is simple. They've always been a tag team, and they try to use them as single stars before they put them together. But once they put them together as the iconic duo in NXT, they've never broken them apart. They've never teased them breaking apart. They've always been a team, and they actually make each other so much better. I think on their own, Peyton and Billy aren't really the best. I think Peyton's a really good wrestler. I think Billy struggles still, but I think that together they're one of the best acts in the company, male, female, or otherwise. They're extremely entertaining. They have tons and tons of fans. I mean, I'm wearing their merch right now. So a lot of people love the Iconics. I would have them in the Riot Squad be in the finals. And the Iconics have also said in interviews they never want to break up. They always want to be together. They always want to be a team. And I think that if you're booking the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, it should be a team that you could build on. It should be a team that is going to be together for a long time, that you don't want to see break up, and that is going to really be like the backbone and the foundation of what you're trying to build in this division. I think that, yes, a lot of people would say you have to give it to Sasha and Bayley because they're the most popular women that could potentially be in this tournament. However, both, in my opinion, are better singles wrestlers than they are as a team. And then when it comes to a team like the Riot Squad, you know, they are the second choice for it. But I think that over this last year, the Riot Squad has lost a lot to makeshift teams. Bayley and Sasha and Natty, and it's just thrown together teams. They've lost a lot, and they lost the Evolution, which I think is a bigger deal than people want to make out of it, right? So give me Iconics winning this belt. I think it'd be awesome, and it'd be a great way to showcase other talent on your roster. I don't want every single thing that the women go through to only be the 4 horsewomen, Asuka, Alexa, or Ronda Rousey now, or even Nia Jax. Like, you have other women on the roster. You have Ember Moon, you have Lana, you have Mandy Rose, you have the Iconics, you have, you know, the Riot Squad, you have other people. And if you bring up some of these teams like Team Kick, right? Why can't they do something with it? Or you have the 4 horsewomen come up and win these belts, or you put another team together that maybe gels the way Cesaro and Sheamus did. I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be incredible to kind of showcase the other talent in your division who, quite honestly, might not ever make it to that main event scene, right? A lot of people, including myself, think that Mandy Rose has the potential to be, you know, a main eventer for the women's division, right? I honestly do think that, and a lot of people might laugh at me, but I honestly think she has a lot of Trish Stratus in her, and I know a lot of people say that, but Trish Stratus wasn't that good at first, and she became better and better as the years went on. But if Mandy never reaches her full potential, a tag team with her and Sonya Deville would be so much fun, and it'd be so entertaining. A lot of people would get behind it. You think of someone like Bayley. Yeah, Bayley's been to the mountaintop, but guess what? Is she ever going to go back? Are they ever going to turn her heel? Are they ever going to change her character? Who knows? But if you want to have fun, throw Bayley and Carmella, who are real life best friends, into a tag team, right? Carmella takes all this babyface momentum that she has gained being on SmackDown, doing all the dance breaks. You put her with Bayley, and now they're just going to have the most fun every single week. And they can feud with the Iconics. They used to feud with the Iconics when they were in NXT. So bring that feud back, right? Have fun with it. Do something different. Be something else. You look at a character like Naomi. The Glow character is so awesome, so much fun. You know, me, Ant, and Issa dance at Evolution. Everybody has a good time. But that Glow character only takes you so far, right? That's why Naomi isn't the champion. That's why Naomi isn't in the main event scene anymore. Her Alana could be a lot of fun. That'd be awesome. But also, my one biggest thing, which I kind of mentioned before, is women like Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Asuka and Ronda Rousey. I want to stay away from this division for the time being because those are clearly the top 4 women in the company. And I want to see them remain singles. It's kind of like, I don't want to see Brock Lesnar in a tag team. I don't want to see Daniel Bryan in a tag team. I only want to see Seth Rollins in a tag team if it's with the Shield. If it's not the Shield, I don't want to see it. And they're more of a stable at this point anyway. It's stuff like that. You want to see your main eventers, be single stars. And that's how I feel the women should be booked going forward. And I think that the tag team should be separate and it should be dual branded with the titles. So thank you for listening to this first ever show. You know, it was a little rough. You know, we'll get better with it, right? I'm having fun. I love women's wrestling. There's so much great women's wrestling going on out there. Next week's episode, here's a little teaser for people who become Patreons for Rant with Ant at patreon.com/rantwithant. Next week's episode, I will give you my top 25 women wrestlers in the business right now. Now I know what you're thinking to yourself. 25? Yes, you heard correctly. I said 25. Anybody could do a top 5 list. Most people do top 10 lists. But I'm crazy. I'm going to give you 25 because in reality, in anything you love, whether it be nerd culture or movies or wrestling, that 11 to 25 is so difficult to make. And trust me, I've been working on it the past week. It is tough to kind of position where you want, who do you want in there, because you can get kind of crazy with who you're picking and where you're putting them, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you check out at patreon.com/rantwithant. Become a subscriber, become a supporter at the $5 level, and you will get this show a week before everybody else. And if not, it's okay. You can wait. youtube.com/rantwithant. Just hit it in the search bar. Make sure you subscribe so then I can finally just say to you guys, youtube.com/rantwithant. That is the goal for 2019, to get to that point with YouTube. So yet again, thank you so much for being involved in my first ever show called Evolved. Thank you, Ant, for the logo. You're the best. You're awesome. Stay quiet. So quiet.